minutes. You will regulate my time. I'm not good at that. And I will start as soon as possible with this machine that I'm supposed. It's not working.
Okay.
Yes, it works. Okay, so digital information of Islam. So this presentation relates with my PhD research, which I'm writing now. I'm in the last stage, which makes me very happy. My subject are progressive and feminist Islam, and how it exists or not on the social media, and to what extent social media educate the public. Because it's all lovely and fantastic when we discuss about progressive Islam and Islamic feminism in classrooms and among us, the academics, but the point is what happens with the lay believers. So how the digital reformation of Islam happens, and each step leads to the other one, is that, first of all, we have online spaces that allow democratization of knowledge. We saw in the previous presentations how the project of this conference is based on websites, for all the very legitimate reasons that were mentioned. However, to have a website, to run it, you need money, which narrows down a lot the capacity of people to disseminate knowledge. So by having access to knowledge, or exposing people to knowledge, then you emancipate lay believers. Many believers do not fit within boxes, specific boxes, especially of populist Islam or traditionalist Islam. These people, offline, they feel isolated. Through knowledge, exposure to knowledge, they understand that whatever didn't seem logical to them, didn't seem logical to others as well, and there is knowledge to support these discrepancies. Then they create communities. By being emancipated and together, they challenge authoritative voices. And who gives authority to these voices? Then we have justification of different norms and practices that perhaps some authorities dictate, but lay believers struggle to deal with. And eventually, we come having people that they live a different way of a Muslim. Again, at the beginning, earlier in the day, we had this question about who identifies as a Muslim, what are the criteria? Well, the criteria can change, and can change from the bottom to the top. That's why this reformation, traditionally reformations in Islam were always from the top. Some male scholar would say something, and then his words will be disseminated through cassettes in the past, or videos, and then reformation will come. Here we're talking about reformation from the people to the authority. Now, what do we see and what we don't see? What we see usually in projects like in Digital Islam, we see participation of people in public groups. And here's the social media. I work with social media solely. I don't deal with websites. And then what is the following of these pages? What are the numbers of shares? Who shares the posts? And who makes comments? And what conversations are being sparked? And all of these are very useful. They're fantastic. The point is, that's only up there. There's a lot that we don't see. Like, we can't really measure how many people actually read these posts or these discussions, which means we cannot measure exposure. We cannot see what happens on private communities. You can access Facebook group only if it is open. If it is private, you cannot. So you can't see what happens there. Then you can't see how people transform the information they receive online into their daily lives, because that's what is the lived experience. Lived experience is not when I'm on my mobile or on my laptop. It's what I do on my daily life. Which means we cannot see the information, because if these people are having different practices in their daily lives, we cannot just enter their homes and see it, and they will not do it in public. But now, you see how I emphasized on people that they prefer to remain invisible. Let's see why. No, before that, let's see the numbers. So my sample were 50 people, 25 females, 25 males. One of the issues that emerged that I didn't anticipate in advance, but emerged, is that the lived experience of Muslim women are majestically different than the lived experiences of the Muslim men. So, from the From the 25 females that I interviewed, 22 were very supportive of progressive and feminist Islam. From these 22, only 3 women stated that they feel comfortable having an online presence about their ideas and beliefs. Similarly, from the men, here you can see the numbers, from the 25 men that participated in my research, only 14 showed some sympathy to progressive and feminist Islam, and from these, 35% were happy. So from those that they supported progressive Islam, only 35 were happy to be visible online. And here comes this cute cat and this screenshot of that will lead us to why people opt to be offline. The first thing, so one of the questions of the research is like, are you comfortable being expressing support on progressive Islam and feminist Islam online? And they gave this nowhere. So because the interviews were semi-structured, the participants were free to just speak and speak and speak by themselves. So there were 4 different categories or reasons why people didn't want to be online. One was online abuse by strangers. This was very high and it affected both females and males. Some of the statements are there. It's like, I know there are weirdos online, but they will get obsessed and start dogpiling you. Another one, I've had experiences where these Muslim trolls have caught on my tweets, have been really nasty. So here we see that they have already experienced the abuse. It's not that I just know it exists. The religiously inclined would be quite hostile, and I don't want to deal with this. Another one was like, anonymously I will be confident, but if I were to put my name on it, I would get attacked. You see the comments. What is very alarming here is that the people who are subjected to abuse, they are Muslims that are subjected to abuse by Muslims. So this is the strangers. And now we go to the family. And here, only the females express this. So we have the first one, a 48-year-old female, that she says, I can't write what I believe because I can offend my brothers. Now we are aware, or I hope we're aware, that certain communities of Muslims in certain countries, these can have lethal consequences on females. Another one, my husband and his entire family social circle are anti-feminists. And then she was very quick to say, he's a very cool person. And he says, please, please don't do anything online. Here again, we see that there is a coercion there. Yeah, theoretically, either the interviewer or the interviewee, she presented a sweet version of coercion, or coercion is a form of abuse. It's not something to accept it as, oh, because he's cute and nice and he doesn't hold the dagger, that it's something good. For my safety and mental well-being, to avoid being attacked, both these females were referring to their families. Actually, before I go, there was an incident. One of the female interviewees, she said that she accesses only books, academic books, about progressive Islam online because she lives with her family, mother, father, sister, and she's scared to order a book online because when the book will be delivered or when she will have the book in her room, her family can see the book and that will put her in danger. Emotional or spiritual abuse by the community, because my close friends will say, are you a Muslim or not? And this is very strong on every single statement. The Muslimness of whoever does not adhere to the traditionalist versions of Islam is always being questioned. Specifically of us that we are converts, and I'm very, very conscious using the word convert and not revert. But this is another discussion. I want to go back here to the statistics. Only 3 out of 22 that were confident to speak online about, or to have a presence with their name online about progressive and feminist Islam, 2 of which were converts. And both of them, they started their statement by saying, yes, I'm very confident because I do not depend on anyone. So, but I did make a mention, even in my research, because it was surprising. This interviewee was studying in Saudi, female interviewee. She, throughout the interview, she was particularly stressed for the possibility her teachers in Saudi to somehow read her contribution in my research. This was very, she was in fear. Now, why do I make it a big deal when we study online and the lived experiences of Muslim online? Because a lot is happening hidden from the visibility of the public eye. People, particularly women, but not only women, they don't want to be exposed. So when we study just the websites or just the social media, there's a lot we don't see. Now, many people, many Muslims are non-denominational, something that for some might come as a surprise, but yes, they are. And if you don't have an acknowledged denomination or sect to belong to, you're invisible. For example, how many of you know how many Quranists do we have, or what Quranist is? Yeah, thank you, that's the point. There are Quranists out there. We don't know about them because they don't have an official sect or because other sects reject them. By not having visibility, so one thing for lack of visibility, if you do or you don't belong to a sect, how am I doing about time? Good, thank you. By not having presence online, again, no visibility. So if I don't belong to a specific theoretically legitimate sect, and if I don't come online, I don't exist. That translates into not real Islam or wrong beliefs. I started my research in 2020. I'm part-time. So that explains the time. Because I have another job, I have something to give me money to pay for my PhD. So when I started, a year after I started, I came across a video of a quite popular public figure of Islam from the Americas who was discussing with a progressive Muslim, and then the prominent person said, come on, how many progressives are there? I haven't seen anyone, so where are they? Do they exist? And that sparked me. Because if you're not visible for the populist or the traditionalist version of Islam, you don't exist. Which means that no matter how hard work you do, how many families, how many women right now in their families, they teach their boys how to wash dishes, and that does not threaten their manhood or their Muslimness. How many women within the families, they have marital contracts with terms and conditions, which all of these are aspects of progressive and feminist Islam. We don't see it, and we can never see it online. So the whole point is, online is amazing. It's very good to see trends, but we need to bear in mind that there's a lot we cannot see. That's why if we want to research the lived experiences of Muslims, yes, online is good, but we need also to go to qualitative data. We need to have interviews, we need to have observations, otherwise we can't have the full pictures. And that's the end. How was about time? Was I good?